Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Hope you are great. I am sure you all may have seen the video of the Prince of Saudi Arabia in Oval Office with your president. Your president. And I am kind of in shock that the right are not saying anything about it. Him bringing that man to the Oval Office with everything, with the stories and everything surrounding that man. Yeah, I am going to ask, why is it that they are not saying anything about it? And why was he humiliating the journalist who asked the brilliant question about what this man, what he was doing in the Oval Office, and also the unaliving of, yeah. The truth is that this administration is very corrupt, very, very corrupt. That you honored someone that unalived somebody, a journalist, and they asked the man, you will say where they asked the man question about the man he was unalived. And guess what? Trump decided to be the one. You don't talk, he is a gentleman. Like, that is how they know how they deflect from the real truth. This administration is not good. And I want you to know that your president is the one that wants to come to Nigeria to fight Muslims. Let's get into this video.
Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen.
That was an absolutely stunning moment inside the Oval Office just now, where the Saudi Crown Prince was visiting the White House for the first time in years, and for the first time since U.S. intelligence concluded that he had personally ordered the murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who was taken inside of a Saudi consulate, killed, and then dismembered. But when a reporter tried to ask the Saudi Crown Prince about his death...
And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you?
President Trump stepped in, scolded the reporter, and then not only that, justified the murder of Jamal Khashoggi by claiming that the reporter was controversial.
That reporter was definitely brave for asking that question, but I really don't want us to rewrite history, and I've been seeing a lot of rhetoric surrounding this that has been an attempt to do that, to position Trump as some kind of anomaly in how he's being so friendly towards Saudi. The US and Saudi have been allies since 1933. It will be 100 years very, very soon of allyship. This idea that the US is somehow breaching something by being friends with Saudi is not true. They've been friends forever. What Trump is doing is just being very public about things that the US has typically been silent about. He's just saying the quiet parts out loud. The other thing as well is that Wahhabism to Saudi is like evangelicalism to Trump's cabinet and the right-wingers here in the US. But Saudi has something that the US doesn't have. It has perfected its ability to export Wahhabism and use it as a weapon. The US hasn't quite managed to do that with evangelicalism in the modern era the same way. Christianity was of course used to colonize, but it's a bit different when we're talking about how it's being used or weaponizing it in the modern era. I say that to say that Saudi and the US are different sides of the same coin. Saudi is also a regional hegemon in the Arabian Peninsula, in the Red Sea area. It is part of the reason why so much of Africa's portion of the Red Sea is heavily destabilized. Yes, the blue and white country is a proxy of US interests, but so is Saudi in the region. And it weaponizes religion the same way the US's right wing does. This is not unique to Trump. He's not doing anything that's different from how previous presidents have treated Saudi. The only difference is that previous presidents would have done it behind closed doors. He's just doing it out loud.
Truly don't call yourself a journalist if you're not coming like her.
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Mind you, that reporter from ABC News asked the Saudi Crown Prince to his face about the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi was a Saudi journalist who was brutally killed in a Saudi consulate in Istanbul. For decades, he was also close to the Saudi royal family and served as an advisor to the government. But he fell out of favor with the family and went into self-imposed exile in the US in 2017. From there, he wrote a monthly column in the Washington Post in which he criticized the policies of the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who's this motherfucker right here. And here's the craziest part about this. According to the New York Times, as reported in 2018, under Donald Trump's first term, his CIA was the one who concluded that Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi crown prince, was the one who ordered Khashoggi be killed. And that's when you know that America's full of bullshit, because how can we stand for the land of the free and the home of the brave and stand with journalists because that's freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but we literally roll out the red carpet and have an F-37 fighter jet fly over the White House to welcome this motherfucker? Literally with open arms, with literally our intelligence community says that he was the motherfucking killer. Donald Trump is a motherfucking traitor, and we should treat him as motherfucking such.
Donald Trump just publicly attacked an ABC reporter as he was holding his bilateral meeting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, the same one that CIA concluded with high evidence that he was the one that orchestrated the killing of that reporter, Jamal Khashoggi. A reporter asked the Crown Prince, why is he here? Because so many Americans truly believe, and the CIA concluded that he was the one who orchestrated the killing of that journalist. Donald Trump intervened, snaps on the reporter, asks who she's with. She says ABC News. He says, you're fake news. Then goes on to say, the Crown Prince had nothing to do with it. He didn't even know about it. What are you talking about? He talks so much BS, but he wanted to defend the Crown Prince and have his viral moment, literally stating he knew nothing about it and had nothing to do with it. Then started attacking the reporters, saying they're fake news and how dare she try to embarrass the guest that he brought into his house. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Your own CIA concluded, literally the CIA concluded that the Crown Prince was the one who orchestrated the assassination of that journalist. And now you're going to say, oh, also, he said nobody really even liked that journalist anyway that was assassinated. Nobody really liked him anyway.
One of the things that might have gone unnoticed with the Crown Prince being at the White House yesterday and all the tech billionaires over there to lick on his balls and Trump getting ready to sign over and sell them F-15 jets was this. Trump defends Saudi Crown Prince over Khashoggi killing. The de facto Saudi ruler was branded an outcast after the 2018 killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Now, U.S.-Saudi relations are approaching a high point. This is the part that really got me, though. It's this part right here. President Donald Trump on Tuesday defended Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over the killing of Washington Post opinion columnist Jamal Khashoggi, saying, quote, things happen, and that he did not hold the Saudi leader responsible for the 2018 murder, despite a U.S. intelligence report assessing the opposite. You would think that would be the most disrespect you can get out of this, but come on, it's Donald Trump. Trump dismissive language offered the highest level confirmation yet that Mohammed will face few consequences for the killing, as the Crown Prince makes his first visit to Washington since Khashoggi was dismembered in a Saudi consulate in Turkey. Quote, a lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but Mohammed knew nothing about it, Trump said in response to a question about Khashoggi. Quote, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guests by asking a question like that. The killing of Jamal Khashoggi is the reason I don't watch any of the shows that WWE does in Saudi Arabia. Not a one. I don't watch them. Do I have a problem with the Saudi Arabian people? No, I do not. But much like different places around the world, it ain't never the people, it's the fucking government that represents them. MBS had a problem with Jamal Khashoggi's assessment and criticism of the Saudi Arabian government. And rather than addressing those criticisms directly, Mohammed bin Salman sent people with bone saws to Turkey and the Saudi Arabian consulate, where Jamal Khashoggi was going in to get his passport and things straightened out so that he could come and get married. And they dismembered that man. The reason the Washington Post is the one that's bringing this up is because Jamal Khashoggi worked for the Washington Post. I do not understand the America we live in, and I never will. It's always been bad. I'm a black man in America, so I know what fucked up looks like. And America is the kings of the shit. I know what fucked up looks like. So I'm not worried about that part. It is the callous nature to what happened to that man that will forever bother me. So what you're telling me is, if I criticize the federal government, but I got to go to the post office to get a passport, the federal government can send people in, take me to a room, dismember me, and to add insult to injury, because this is actually what happened. I really want you to hear me. This is exactly what happened. The federal government can then send a 6-foot-tall, 250-pound black man, bald with hoop earrings in his ear, wearing the clothes that you took off me, dead man's clothes now, and walk out the back door of the post office as if I walked out the back door of the post office. That's exactly what happened to Jamal Khashoggi. That's exactly what happened. I understand that for Trump, it is all about sycophants kissing his balls. I get that. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I have not liked it or him since 1989. But the callousness of dismissing what happened to Jamal Khashoggi will bother me for as long as I live, I think. You see, I'm used to America saying one thing and doing another. I'm used to it. Do y'all remember the doctor who performed abortions being killed inside of his church, shotgun blast to the chest? Remember him? The same guy that did that, the same person that did that, I think, did the Atlanta Olympic bombing. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were the same person. But even if they weren't, even if they were two different people, that's what I'm used to. I'm so pro-life that I'm going to shoot you in the fucking chest while you go to church. I'm so about pro-life that I'm going to set a bomb in the Olympic Village in Atlanta during the motherfucking Olympics. This is a country of freedoms and liberties. To harass people to the point of them committing unalivement. So I'm used to America's hypocrisy. Shit doesn't shock me at all. Never has, never will. But now, people that want to curry favor with the United States, all they got to do is butter up our fucking leader, and he, on behalf of the United States, because I want y'all to remember that, he represents the United States on the world stage. When a world leader comes to the White House, the president is our envoy. He is our proxy. He speaks for all of us. For that man to say things happen, things happen. No one goes into a consulate to get chopped to pieces. There's not a man or woman in America that would walk into a post office to get turned into soup. That level of hypocrisy is new to me. It's very new to me. Now, I'm one person with a platform and this, that, and the third. I am not Jamal Khashoggi. I will not have the impact that Jamal Khashoggi has. But even without having that impact, even without having that reach, I can tell you honestly that for the President of the United States to dismiss somebody who, A, left Saudi Arabia, B, criticized the government as is their right as a human being, from Saudi Arabia to Israel to Europe to Russia, I can criticize any government that I want. For our leader to turn that into, well, things happen, has got to be one of the most backhanded, disrespectful things I think a president has ever said. I'm pretty sure. This ranks right up there next to Ronald Reagan using that welfare queen trope and putting that into the ethos of American society. Now, if someone who criticizes another government but seeks asylum here is murdered, things happen. A journalist, and don't get me wrong, journalism in America is dead. It really is. Now it's all about ad revenue and let's get next to the powerful people. And hey, we have to have both sides, even on something as atrocious as a man walking into a consulate and being turned into fucking soup. Our leader says things happen, completely dismissing what MBS and the Saudi Arabian government did, the callousness in which MBS acted afterwards, like, for example, taking a picture, shaking hands with Jamal Khashoggi's son. We just don't care because things happen. I don't think America ever really had a soul. But if it did, that would have killed it. That would have murdered it. That would have chopped it up and dismembered it. America don't give a fuck, I guess.
Well, the Prince of Saudi Arabia is at the White House today. And what's her name? I want to make sure I say her name correctly. Mary Bruce from ABC News is like, hey, a lot of 9/11 families are upset that you're hosting the Saudi prince. I mean, outside of his family doing all this business with these people and making all this money, they're upset that you're hosting him when they had the family of James Khashoggi. Y'all remember when that journalist was unalived and it was real ugly and real nasty? And they're just like, don't this seem kind of fucking weird? Like, what's going on here? And Trump, every news is fake news. Every news is fake news. And then he goes on to say, first of all, and this is pretty much what he should have said. Bitch, ain't nobody made this country more poppin' than me. I can do what the fuck I want to do. What you asking me for, bitch? Just hear my house. You hoes are just guests. In my juke joint. That's what he pretty much said. And he then went on to say the prince had no knowledge of things that were happening in his country and is not culpable for any atrocities that happened in said country. The man brutally unalived an American. You're the president of America. Y'all remember when the people cut up because President Obama wore that tan suit? The weird thing is, I'm gonna say this, even though it might get me whacked. Hopefully, it don't get me doxxed. The MAGA girls are fighting and struggling to make every action appropriate, okay? In the same, the barbs are on the same trajectory. It's like, listen, love your fave down. But watching folks have to make everything all right when some of the stuff is clearly not all right is interesting to watch. I've chosen to feel like it's interesting over it feeling like I'm losing my mind. That's Pisces power. Being delusional and compartmentalizing, We are amazing at that. But yeah, I'm choosing to be entertained over on the brink of a breakdown. Because some shit is, I don't know when we went. Maybe that rapture did happen. Maybe because golly. Oh, I forgot one key thing. When the president did answer the question after he made it seem as if the Saudi prince is not culpable for anything, he pretty much said what he knows about James is that he was a controversial person. Now, the context is this man was assassinated. And I want us to just think about a few months ago when people came online to say that Charlie Kirk was controversial, people lost their jobs. People were put on watch lists. People were doxxed. People lost their accounts on social media. Now being controversial is a understanding POV to see how somebody could be assassinated. I'm new here. I'm just asking.
I can tell a lot of y'all like toxic relationships.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, that gentleman that you're talking about, whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do. You own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe. Maybe something like yours, yes.
That'd be great.
I've had so much to say about that disrespect of that guest, right? Suddenly he had nothing to say. And I'm going to bring this full circle. Who was the person who was asking that question? Brian Greene. And who is Brian Greene? That's right. The significant other of Marjorie Taylor Greene. But see, some of y'all right now have had a change of heart about Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's so soft-spoken now.
I want to speak goodness and love and hope into the women standing behind me and all of the other survivors whose names you don't even know, but stand with these women.
But forgive me for not forgetting who Marjorie Taylor Greene really is.
The same Democrats that cheered on and supported riots that burned American cities, the same Democrats that shared Minnesota Freedom Fund bail bond links supporting criminals and helping them get out of jail.
Democrats ripped open our borders and allowed millions of illegal aliens to pour in, driving up the cost of housing and health care while slashing American wages and eliminating jobs.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen. And I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down. Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move, and we're going to...
Two things can be true. Marjorie Taylor Greene can want to take Donald Trump down. Marjorie Taylor Greene can also be truly empathetic for the Epstein victims. That could be true, and want justice for them as well. But that doesn't mean she's not who we think she is. Whether Trump is taken down or not, and the Epstein victims get their day in court properly, that won't change Marjorie Taylor Greene 12 months from now, after midterms, reverting back to her principle. And for those of you who are not white, who are practicing Christianity, white Christian nationality does not include you. She will return to her regularly scheduled program of bigotry. See, I'm convinced a lot of y'all have been in toxic relationships your whole life. The makeup to break up, in and out of relationships, in and out of friendships, people doing backstabbing, family members you don't like, but you still deal with. Look, at some point you got to draw hard lines with people to keep your peace, to keep your sanity, to keep your safety. When I see who you are, I'm done with you. If by way of proximity or working environments or whatever, I'm going to keep my distance from you. People, do not lose the plot in this chaos of the Epstein files. I need you to focus. I don't profess to know how this is all going to play out, but I know one damn thing. If Donald Trump is asking the Congress to do what they're doing, and it's what we wanted Congress to do, this can't be any good. There's always going to be a catch if you find yourself aligned with what Donald Trump is asking for. So whoever leaked the Epstein emails in the beginning, hold that bag. Hold that bag, because Pam Bondi, whatever she's going to share is surely going to be from her I Dream of Jeannie, whatever you want, master. List of chat GTB shit bullshit. Let's stop trying to change the narrative of people who they've already told us who they are. Liars lie, cheaters cheat, pedophiles pray. And I'm not surprised by the disrespect of Donald Trump and what he said to a woman reporter yesterday, calling her out her name. Because he was a pig before yesterday. So what exactly do you expect a pig to act like?
Donald Trump has and he will make America successful again.
Here we go. So today we have this happening, the Saudi Arabian prince, and he is officially in Washington, D.C. today. They grilling him. Some of the media was grilling him about something, unaliving one of the media people. But y'all don't think it's strange that yesterday the UN voted for the endorsing of the Board of Peace as transitional authority and creation of a temporary international stabilization force in Gaza. Y'all don't think that's strange that that happened yesterday and now today homeboy is here, he kicking it with us? Y'all don't think that's interesting? So what's happening is the principal stated that there will be many more exciting announcements that will be made in the upcoming weeks concerning this agreement and the endorsement of the Board of Peace. And mind you, there is a 20-point peace plan that the principal has put together for Gaza. Remember in my last video, I told you that the principal stated that the real reason why he's trying to meet with him is so he can talk about the Abrahamic Accords. Now, if you know anything about the Abrahamic Accords, I believe that is going to end up being the 10 nations where the AC will rise out of. There's already 4 nations that have signed on to the Abrahamic Accords. Now, I just think it's funny, a day apart, that these two meetings is happening concerning peace agreement, concerning Abrahamic Accords, concerning the land in Gaza, and concerning the I country. They said it was a 15 member council, and they voted 13-0 in favor of the resolution, which the resolution was the peace board, the peace agreement board, right? And with abstentions by Russia and China, which they declined to use their veto to power to basically block the determining factor. So it's a done deal. They agreed on the 20-point peace plan. I have to go through the peace plan itself to see in detail what it entails. I know a lot of it has to do with getting the hostages to come out and all this, bringing immediate peace right away. I gotta realize that there are no coincidences. This meeting happened on yesterday. Now the Prince Salve, I can't even get the man's name. Salve something is here at the White House. Now he's doing a conference tomorrow on finances and merging the American people. Y'all think this is normal? Because it's not.
not considering what we've been talking about as it relates to the Muslim faith and what is coming to America, what I've been saying. All I'm gonna say is the setup is here. It is in our faces. It's here. We ain't gotta question it. People ain't gotta wonder if I'm making up stuff. Is this conspiracy? It's right here in our faces. There's meetings going on in Washington. They even rolled out the red carpet for the prince. Whatever his name, I don't know what he is. He's a prince. I think he's the prince of El Salv something. It's in our faces, y'all. It's right here. And if y'all think that we are not getting ready to see an AC rise up, it is going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. The spirit of it is already in the land. We see that what's going on in other countries, and what's happening with the Christians in so many areas. I talked about the Jacob's trouble. It's the Bible. It's all here. But that man that came to Washington D.C., y'all, he didn't left the country. He didn't came. We's in some trouble.
So the leader of Saudi Arabia just visited the White House. And I want to start this video because I already know how the last one went. I want to start the video by saying I have no beef with the Saudi Arabian people. But the current king of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, visited Donald Trump and he unalived a journalist for talking bad about him. I mean, it's really as simple as that, right? Saudi Arabian officials, at the order of MBS, lured a journalist to the Saudi Arabian consulate in a different country and cut him up into pieces with a bone saw. There's even audio of it happening, right? And this has been proven that he's done this. Like, it's not like a conspiracy theory or anything like that. Like, someone was talking trash about him and he... Now, obviously, that's very un-American. Rule number one in America is you can say whatever you want. And check it out. I'm not like some big patriot, but that is the rule that I like the best. I do not want America collaborating with countries that don't respect freedom of speech, at least on some level. At least on the level where you can't lose your life for it, right? And in the Oval Office, when MBS and Donald Trump were taking questions from reporters, a reporter asked him, hey, this guy, unalive Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist, that's kind of messed up, right? And Donald Trump said, and I quote, things happen. People tell me that I'm overreacting when I say that these videos that I post on this app will get me arrested one day.
This is all I got from this video. And I just don't want to imagine, or should I ask you, can you imagine what the right would have done, right? If, let's say, Obama or Joe Biden, if they were the ones that brought this Saudi Arabian prince to the White House, you know, they would have lost it. And now it looks like all of them are all dodging. See, I want you all to know that you guys do not have the best leader. As I speak today, at least for today, you and I know that. Maybe tomorrow there will be a change, but for now, no. You do not have good leader. The fact that they asked the man a question and he was the one answering the question, for what reason? That he is a good man, that it's like, who asked him? And a very big shout out to that ABC journalist. She did a great job with that question because it's what we all knew about that story. What happened and how the man was unalive for criticizing who? And now, why was he also trying to also disrespect the reporter who was actually reporting the right thing, you know, and then defend the soulless man who unalived somebody? That really broke me, but then I cannot be broken anymore because this administration is just full of what it is, you know. And sincerely, Trump basically said that the journalists deserve to be unalive. So disgusting, you know, for him to sit in that Oval Office to say that. And I am sure you also, America will never change, you know. But I want you to understand that all this politics is so dirty that sometimes you ask yourself, like, are they doing this with clear mind, clear conscience, and all that? But you and I already know that nothing is ever clear when it is things like this. It's either he is getting something or there is something that it's going on we do not know. And you and I know exactly that there is something going on. Do I blame people, the victims of, family victims of people that were affected during the period of what happened, 9/11 and all? I do not blame them for being mad and pissed, because how did he let that man come into, like, if you say the Oval Office? Some people will tell you that's why I don't believe in politics. My daddy, I was quite very young, right? And he always told me that there is that in politics there is no permanent friend and there is also no permanent enemy. It's as simple as that. I will draw my curtain here. Bye for now.